Hello and welcome. Now they might be calling this the Black Forest, but all I can see is gold. And even a place where they make golden watches. Let's get in, because today I'm visiting Junghans in Schramberg, where they are celebrating 160 years of watchmaking, with a watch that's definitely worth it. It is the Junghans Meister Fine edition, a watch that shows history and presence in one shot. With the old Junghans logo on the dial and a beautifully detailed minimalist modern design and clever mechanics, it combines everything this company stands for. Although it might remind you of its much more famous family member, the Max Bill, it really is the granddaddy. But more on that later. I first want to take you a little bit into that very rich 160-year history of Junghans. Junghans was founded in 1861 by Erhard Junghans, and a few years later the first clocks were made. The company grew rapidly with a promise of affordable quality, becoming the largest watch and clock manufacturer in the world in 1903, making 3 million pieces a year. In 1918, the amazing Terrassenbau was built, where besides watches and clocks also cockpit and car instruments were made, making it a true authority in the field of timing instruments. As such, it became the driving force behind German watchmaking. In 1936, Junghans presented its first in-house movement, and that same year the name Meister was first used for a Junghans watch. After narrowly surviving the war, the company introduced its first in-house chronograph movement, and it even became the third largest manufacturer of chronometers in the world in 1956. An even more legendary collaboration came around the same time, as designer Max Bill was invited to a project that would become an iconic kitchen clock and watch, now part of the permanent collection of the MoMA. Although the company was quick to embrace quartz technology in the 60s, it fell victim to this technology that would nearly wipe out traditional watchmaking as a whole. Junghans timed the 1972 Olympics, setting some impressive standards in sports timing, but was soon fighting for survival. It switched ownership several times until it finally became independent in 2009, with local industrialists Dr. Hans Joachim and Hannes Steim as its new owners. They restored the Terrassenbau in full glory, and step by step they are resurrecting the technical know-how of the brand as well. Seeing, feeling and experiencing that history in Schramberg makes you realize what this company stands for and how much potential it has. It is best known for the Max Bill, and although I own one, I don't think that's entirely fair. If you look at the history more closely, you'll see that nearly all of the design features that make the Max Bill such a great watch are actually Junghans design principles. The perfect slim case proportions, intelligent bezel construction, sloped dial, perfect hands, small crown and overall clean design are clever solutions introduced by Anton Ziegler and Max Scheller, and I personally think these heads of design deserve more credit for it. For example, the Meister watches from 1936 and the mid-50s are just as impressive and set the design rules Max Bill duly followed. The limited new Meister Fine edition is based on a watch from that era and combines a perfect dome glass, elegant gold case and lovely retro signature name on the satin-like off-white dial. The hands have the perfect length and a beautiful diamond-like point, a thing that's quite hard to make nowadays, but that shows their determination to minimalist perfection. Making minimalism come alive is an art, and Junghans definitely knows this by heart. At the back, even more interesting details are found. It has an incredibly good looking domed sapphire glass on the back, making the movement come alive in 3D. Some people will complain this is a Selitta, but that doesn't do it justice. Especially for the domed glass, they redesigned the entire rotor, making it domed as well and larger than the movement. This was made by a local producer, a great step for making watches more unique to Junghans. The only downside, I think, is the price of 6,490 euros, which is quite a lot for a Junghans, although it must be said it has an 18-karat gold case. Hear those cows? You might actually forget you're not in Switzerland, but in Germany. And I gotta be honest, walking around here in this part of the old continent where Germany and Switzerland meet is definitely inspiring. It makes you feel that watches were not only made in Switzerland in the past. There has been a very turbulent history here in Schramberg, and Junghans, once one of the biggest, best watchmakers in the world, had difficult times. But for the last 10 years, they've been on a very steady way up.
With its genuine watchmaking pedigree, impeccable attention to detail, historic references and intelligent innovations, this Junghans Meister Fine edition embodies not only the golden past, but also the passionate yet conservative step-by-step evolution this company is going through. Like its surroundings, Junghans is changing slowly but gradually and with an independent spirit. 160 years of watchmaking is a very serious history, and while being here, it's easy to get carried away by enthusiasm.
Now that is my new milk-giving friend who will soon be a hamburger. And talking about friends, I gotta say, I really love Junghans. I'm impressed by their history, and I'm very impressed by the passion these people show for their brand. Because it is difficult in this market. It is difficult as an independent to make great watches. And of course, everyone is talking about the Max Bill. But what I hope is that you might actually take the time to take a better look at the Meister as well. Because I honestly think that is the granddaddy of the Max Bill. And if you're ever around, please say hello to her and hello to the Junghans Museum. Period. Meow.